there, so we're going to be learning right now in how the Theramax Quality Assurance Department is going to approve the re-evaluation under the frequency and duration part of the evaluation for the adult population or for the Medicare patient. So to start with, the start date and the end date must always be filled out. Cancer auto-populate this, but you need to double check sometimes because we have some error in the past. So the start date is the start of the care and the end date is the end of the certification. So all the re-evaluation of the adult must always have the start care and start and the end date. If this is missing, we will not gonna approve your note, but we will return it. And then the effective date is for the interim re-eval. For the interim re-eval, it means that you're not changing the date of you're not changing the frequency of the evaluation. You don't need to fill this out for the interim re-eval because you are just continuing the approved frequency already. On this one, so we will approve if it's blank and we will not approve if you put the date here. Okay. The next one is but if ever you want to put the effective date here, then this will change the frequency here, because now if you put a change here, effective date, the effective date will be the next week after your re-evaluation, which is gonna change the language here. So for training purposes, just kindly leave it blank and just put here continue approved frequency of whatever is the frequency that was approved, and then was effective, the date of the effectivity of that particular frequency. So by saying this, it's very clear for the reviewer of the note that that this re-evaluation, the frequency is just really continued, carry over whatever's the frequency that was approved last one. So it's very simple and there's no confusion. The second re-evaluation is they still did the interim, okay, but during the interim, the evaluator decided to change the frequency. For example, the original frequency was 2 weeks 6, but after the evaluator saw the patient, oh, I think the patient will benefit from more therapy. Instead of doing 2 times a week, I think it's more effective to do 3 times a week. So since you're changing the frequency itself, now you need to fill out the effective date. So for example, you're doing the evaluation today, the re-evaluation today, and then you want to change the frequency starting next week. So you put the effective date to be next week. To play safe, you put it on Monday, because some of the home health agency, they start on Monday, some on Sunday. So to play safe, put it on Monday whenever is the effective date of that frequency. So put it Monday, and then right away here, since you're changing the frequency, change it into, for example, this is the approved frequency. I mean, this is the frequency that you're asking. So if you put the effective date here, it means you have a frequency here which is new frequency. Okay. The third re-evaluation is when you're doing the re-evaluation for the end of the current frequency that approved, and you're adding more frequency or for the new cert. So now if that's the case, for example, it's very specific that the cert of you're doing the re-evaluation today, the 27, and the start of cert is on the 29, but at the same time you want your therapist to start seeing the patient next week. You put 2 times a week or 3 times a week. Then you need to put your date. The effective date must be whenever is the start of the new cert date. Okay, and then you put the frequency right away here, the new frequency. So if you notice, every time there's a new frequency, you need to put the effective date. But if you just continue the frequency of the current re-evaluation, you don't need to put the effective date. And then now, if ever you have a frequency, you need to ask for more approval from the insurance for the frequency. But you don't know the effective date yet. Is because the insurance needs to authorize the visit, and that is for the HMO, usually for the private insurance. So there is no effective date. It's because we are waiting for the insurance to approve our new frequency request for the extension of the visit. So if that's the case, there's no effective date because we are waiting for the insurance to approve the frequency. So you remove the date here, but what you do is like this: upon insurance approval. Now, for example, you put here, this is gonna confuse the system. So if ever you don't have the effective date here, make sure to put a reason behind here. Thank you very much.